today's episode of Honest Coaching Conversations with Misa, I want to talk to you about how we live life. Specifically, I want to talk to you about two perspectives, proactive or reactive. Let me explain. My mother used to always say, time moves even if you do not. No truer words could have ever been spoken to me because the reality of it is, time always moves forward. With this truth, I grew up wondering why she would say such a thing to me. And now, many years later, I am glad that she did. You see, with the understanding that although tomorrow isn't promised to any of us, tomorrow, if we are lucky, is still coming. Life will go on even when we wish for it to stand still, even when we are unaware at times. If you continue to live, you will ultimately grow and you will soon become aware that life moves forward. No matter who you are or where you live, there is always 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, and approximately 365 days in a year. What makes the difference between you and your neighbor is how you choose to spend your time and how prepared you are. Let me go a little bit deeper here. If you take a look at your life, there are certain patterns that you recognize. Take, for example, your morning pattern or routine, right? You may wake, shower, brush your teeth, wash your face, comb your hair, shave, apply makeup, etc., right? This is the beginning of your morning routine. This morning routine may also involve a cup of coffee, reading the newspaper, connecting with someone over the phone, a workout, those things. Regardless of your specific morning routine, some parts of your beginning day should fall within a certain pattern. Now, consider what happens when a part of this routine is disrupted. Let's just say you run out of coffee or a local sewer issue cuts off the water supply to your home. These disruptions will usher you into a challenge that needs a backup plan to get through the day, right? Yes. So, when things are going smoothly, you can contribute this to your planning or proactive thinking. Before your next workday, you may check for clean clothes, clean or wash your clothes, check for toothpaste or coffee supply. This process of checking is the act of being proactive. Maybe you've never realized this before, but when you are proactively thinking about your day or tomorrow, you are actually minimizing the potential hurdles or stressors you could face. This proactive approach does not mean that you have to have all of the answers always, because there will definitely be times when things happen far beyond your control. Yet being proactive will help you to intentionally plan for the 24 hours that you are given in a day. Learning to be more proactive with your days will enable you to begin to consider a proactive approach with your week, your month, and then your year. This is what I mean by living a proactive life. With living life proactively, you are setting goals for yourself and then being intentional with the prep and planning to be able to one day achieve those goals. Now, let's look on the opposite side of proactive, reactive. Reactive living is when you happen to live a life that constantly has you trying to figure things out as they happen. With reactive living, you do consider the writing on the wall, so to speak. You don't look for the patterns in life and try to create a plan. Instead, you merely react to things as they come. You will see a tube of toothpaste nearing the end, and you won't do anything about it until you run out. You won't create a list of items you need to purchase from the store and place toothpaste on the list. You won't go to the store immediately and purchase more, right away. You will instead do nothing until one morning or evening you go to brush your teeth and you find that you are out of toothpaste. Yes, I know this sounds trivial and maybe even a bit juvenile, but consider this as the little thing that can lead to even bigger things with regards to planning your life in a more proactive way. You see, my point is to start small. Begin with organizing your life and noticing the small spaces where you can be more intentional in your practices. These are things like your morning or nighttime routines, your weekday versus weekend routine, your personal health or nutrition routine, your family schedules. You know, you should get my point. Living life in the space of reacting will bring more stress to your world than you realize. It can leave you in a constant place of not knowing what's going on or not having enough time to complete tasks, thus resulting in stress. I don't want you to be stressed. You won't be able to identify common time wasters or patterns because you aren't looking for them when you are living a reactive life. You feel more out of control than you should simply because you haven't taken charge of your days with a proactive practice. Remember that the definition of proactive is creating or controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened. Let me say that again. The official definition of proactive is creating or controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened. Therefore, proactive is intentional and reactive is merely responding. Consider your week. Look at each day that remains and take a small portion of it to begin to plan. Maybe your morning routine or your lunchtime routine, a dinner routine, a weekend routine. Pick something. Then examine the constants or patterns of that space. The things that are a part of this routine no matter what. After you see the pattern, plan to improve upon it or to remain constant in this area if it's already working for you. The point is to practice seeing ahead and creating harmony rather than going through the motions without any intention at all. Once you have practiced this process in smaller routines, expand. Plan for as much as you are comfortable and enjoy the feeling of being more in control and less stressed from not knowing where you are with things. As I've said before, consider support in this process should you need to enlist the expertise of a professional until you've learned to do it on your own, especially with some of the bigger projects, right? Nevertheless, start today by making the decision to live life proactively and not reactively. I want you to believe in yourself and all that you are. Love yourself above all else, and to thine own self always be true. Until next time.